Welcome to Biztech's CEO Conversations Show, the show where we engage industry leaders to share insights into how they run and grow their organizations. Today, our conversation is with Peter Miller, CEO of Fermion Group, a member of the Silver Lake Axis family, and it's headquartered in Singapore. It builds insurance ecosystems to meet the needs of banking, financial services, and insurance sectors. Now, welcome to the show, Peter.
Thank you, Brian.
Now, Peter, could you start by giving us an overview of Fermion and how it was formed?
Okay, so Fermion is a pretty new organization, but the name Fermion has been in the Silver Lake Group, our parent company's group, for a few years. So, I came into the group about a year plus ago, and we had a number of Insurtech assets, and I thought about, how do we create value with these various Insurtech assets we have. And I felt that in some ways, Merriman, which is one of our key assets, has been around for a long time, and everybody thinks Merriman equals claims or e-claims. But Merriman is a lot more than e-claims, and we've got a whole bunch of Insurtech assets through another company, Cyber Village. So I thought, okay, rather than have different entities trying to promote their individual offers, it's much better if we bring all of our offers together under one roof. There had been a project a few years ago, a project Fermion, just an internal project looking at our Insurtech assets. So in discussion with the team and with our media advisors, we said, okay, what shall our single entity be called? And we all landed on, let's keep the name Fermion. So essentially, Fermion is Silver Lake Axis's Insurtech business and includes all of our Insurtech assets.
So I want to drill down a little bit on that, because Cyber Village is essentially started off as a consulting business, but it consults a lot in the financial services space. And Merriman does motor insurance claims, am I correct? And that's how you blended everything together.
Well, in the both companies have a long history. They were both formed about 21 years ago. Silver Lake bought both companies around the same time, about eight years ago. And so I think, Cyber Village was certainly in a time I can remember, the first sort of internet.com era, when, doing everything from e-commerce with the first flower shops or the first online florists. So their history goes way back. Merriman started off with motor e-claims, but now covers every single line of non-life business, retail and commercial. So we've just done a huge implementation for a leading global insurer, which covers 50 products, 10 lines of business. So literally every single line of non-life business, and no longer just on the claims side, we also cover every line on the sales side as well.
So you've now reorganized the business, Peter, around basically three ecosystems: health and wellness, property and casualty, and then long-term savings and protections. Tell us a little bit about this now.
Yeah, so when we were looking at, when we decided our name, our go-to-market name will be Fermion, we said, okay, what differentiates us versus all of the other Insurtechs in the market? And you'll be familiar with the standard Insurtech map, which says, okay, this company does, sales, this company does administration, this company does claims. And we thought, well, we actually are in pretty much every single one of those quadrants, but we also do more than that. So, if you take our most mature ecosystem, which is our motor ecosystem, that's the ecosystem is not just insurers. It includes 9,000 car repair shops, loss adjusters, lawyers, and so on and so forth. So, it's a complete ecosystem where each repair shop, if you like, is a customer of the ecosystem or a partner of the ecosystem in exactly the same way as an insurance company is. On the long-term savings area, one of our biggest customers is actually the Employee Provident Fund in Malaysia. So if you look at, I think you'll have the EPF app. So that app is built by us. It connects 10.5 million individuals and 500,000 corporates. So it's a very large business. The health and wellness ecosystem, that includes 3,000 clinics, includes 100 hospitals as part of the ecosystem, and our recent innovation on the employee benefits area, we've got a product called Debbie, which stands for Digital Employee Benefits Innovation, and that's really looking at employee benefits beyond the typical compensation when you become ill. It covers physical wellness, mental wellness, and financial wellness. But I think where we're trying to, when we look at Insurtech and insurance ecosystems, we're not just thinking in terms of insurance products or insurance companies. We're taking very much a consumer angle. So it's really, the name hasn't been really defined, but it's really protection ecosystems. So a lot of our work is around the area of prevention as opposed to just cure. So if you take employee benefits, and you see companies like AIA Vitality doing this, it's no longer about just compensating somebody when they have to go to the clinic or when they have to go to the hospital. It's about ensuring people don't become sick in the first place, or don't become mentally unwell, or suffer from depression in the first place. So it's really saying, how do we make people mentally stronger, physically stronger, and financially stronger?
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the paradigm is moved away from an illness paradigm to a wellness paradigm.
Very much so. And it's really looking at that at three levels. So level one is the prevention level. Level two is the quick fix level. So, ideally, and this is where technology comes in, so take mental wellness. If you're at the stage where you have to go and see a psychiatrist, then you're probably quite a long way down the path to becoming, needing help, needing medication, for example. Whereas if you can, using technology, can just nip the problem in the bud, how do we solve this anxiety issue so it doesn't go to the next level? So it's really sort of three levels: prevention, nip problems in the bud, and then at the third level, when something does go wrong, you become, you need to go to hospital, then we're there to help and to compensate.
Now, Peter, that's interesting, because obviously when you look at things holistically, because of all the solutions that you have, you are able to provide an end-to-end solution for customers. But your tagline is Insurtech reimagined. So give us an example of how you've helped your clients innovate, and also perhaps share with us, because of the lines being blurred now from the ability to provide financial services solution, can I as a company then use your solutions and then offer insurance products?
Yes, absolutely. So our overriding tagline is the insurance ecosystem builders, and as part of that, it is insurance reimagined. But yes, we really help companies across the value chain, everything from EKYC, if you like, from when customers are first brought on board, through to fraud detection, through to claims. So it is the entire value chain. So yes, we literally play in every part of that value chain. So yeah, on the sales side, we have online solutions in the life and health area. We're just in the process of implementing an aggregator solution for a very large national business. Let's just call it that, which will aggregate eight insurance companies. On the P&C, on the non-life sales side, we work with 65 insurers, offering everything from engineering to marine cargo to motor to simple travel and PA. So it really is, we really do help customers at every part of the value chain, from initiation all the way through to claims payment.
How do you think, and you're an old hand, you've been in this business for a long time, how has the Insurtech space grown over the years in Singapore and across ASEAN?
I think Singapore is a perfect example of an Insurtech ecosystem, because why Singapore has in effect become the ASEAN hub for, or in many ways the Asian hub for Insurtech, is because it's not just the tech companies, it's everything from the regulators to the insurance companies having regional offices, to the investors being in Singapore. So it becomes the natural place for Insurtech to come. With that, lots and lots of companies have made Singapore their home, but I think the better companies or the companies which have the bigger chance of success are using Singapore as a home, but depending on the line of business or depending on the innovation, then they're using Singapore as a home, but with the transport links and making sure that implementations are taking place in Vietnam and in Indonesia and Philippines and Thailand and Malaysia. So I think it really is this national insurance ecosystem, if you like, which has made Singapore the natural home for Insurtechs.
And in the last 2 or 3 years in particular, because there has been a lot of innovation, what have you seen in the region in the Insurtech space that excites you?
I think what really excites me is innovation which really adds value. So, and that's as opposed to you'll get a lot of distribution innovation which is saying tick the box here to receive PA cover for I don't want to name and shame anybody, but receive PA cover for this thing which is going to take 20 minutes of your life and really have very, very limited risk. So something like that, it's good for the distributor, it's good for the insurance company. There really is minimal value for the consumer. So what I do like is innovation which is really adding value, whether it's to the end consumer or to just anybody in the value chain. It could be, but I think ultimately the end consumer's always there. So if you're improving processes which lead to faster claims turnaround, for example, then the end consumer benefits. So I think there are a number of Insurtechs, pure Insurtechs doing this, but also a lot of that innovation is taking place within insurance companies themselves. And I think that's in many ways has been catalyzed by COVID. All of a sudden, consumers could not see salespeople or could not visit branches and could not do face-to-face meetings. So therefore, innovation quickly had to take place at every stage of the value chain to ensure there was a digital solution there. But I think in terms of if I had to choose examples of businesses or initiatives that I find quite interesting out of Singapore, I think what N2C are doing with Stack is very interesting. Just these bites. I think it's something that the insurance industry has looked at for a long time. But as soon as in the old days when people were involved, it just wasn't financially viable to have very, very inexpensive products, inexpensive top-ups. But as you move to digital, then the incremental cost becomes very, very low. I like what MSIG are doing across the whole customer experience value chain. I think they're doing some good work there. And then in terms of pure play Insurtechs, I think what companies like UCare are doing in the AI space with healthcare, and maybe on the sales side, businesses like Igloo, which I think are out of Singapore but expanding across the region. So they would be a few examples.
Now, Peter, what do you think are some of the issues that perhaps are hindering innovation? Is it from a regulatory, from a cybersecurity, or perhaps from a data protection standpoint?
I would probably go from the distribution side. I think distributors need to perhaps be a bit braver and to think a bit more longer term. And this in some ways has been a sort of failing in the insurance industry for quite a while. Insurers effectively buy up distribution, but then they control distribution. And I think these days, as we move towards ecosystems, it's no longer an insurer creating the ecosystem. Often the ecosystem already exists, and it's the insurer playing a part in that ecosystem. But I think some of these big ecosystem companies, whether they be e-commerce or motor or travel, if they think beyond, okay, how do I make a quick buck here by selling my distribution rights for $1 billion, and think, okay, I've got fantastic data, I can personalize the customer journey, I can personalize the product. What can I do as a distributor independently of any insurer, so that I am insurer agnostic, to give the consumer the biggest benefit. So I think at the moment, people are still more looking at the quick buck from the distributor side, as opposed to really thinking, okay, how do I really add value to the consumer by looking at insurance as a whole, and not just, okay, who will buy my customer base, who will buy my distribution rights.
And I'm going to come back to you on that after my next question, Peter, because I think you've done that in a past life before. Now, you're an old, as I said, you're an old hand in insurance business. You've been through various iterations. You've also been at the helm of very innovative companies like Tune Money, Tune Protect. Could you share with us some of the key lessons you've learned in management as a CEO during this journey?
Yeah, I mean, Tune was, I've had some fantastic opportunities through my time in Asia. I was, as you say, in Tune for a number of years, in AIA, in Indonesia, China, and Malaysia, with CIMB for a number of years as they were rising up from being an investment bank to being a regional powerhouse. So a very, very interesting journey. I think, on the Tune side, that's perhaps one of the most interesting, because when I joined Tune Money, I think we had 10 people, 2 people doing insurance and 8 people doing prepaid cards. And that was at the end of 2010. By 2013, we'd IPO'd with a valuation of 1 billion ringgits. So I think the lessons from that, I guess, something that we all know is it's all about the team. And through, I guess, an element of judgment and a large element of luck, I was able to, I had an absolutely fantastic team there. I'm still in touch with all of the key members of that team. So it's really, like everybody, I have limitations, and it's just ensuring that the bits that I can't do, we have very, very good people to do those bits. And so I think that's perhaps it's not a new lesson, but that's perhaps the biggest thing I always keep in mind. So as I joined the Silver Lake Group and Fermion, this is a bit different. Here I'm able to inherit some fantastic people. Trevor running Merriman, Yibing running Cyber Village in the past. When they were independent entities. Gene, who's my COO, Fabian, who's running my labs business. So here I've already got the key pillars in place. But given our growth ambitions, it really is how do we supplement these pillars with fantastic people who have a vision of where we need to go next, not who are necessarily good operators today, but can be good operators in tomorrow's environment. So first and foremost, it is all about people.
And so then, given that perspective, what is Fermion's, what's the vision for Fermion moving forward?
I guess we haven't gone public on the absolute vision yet. That will be coming soon. But I think we do see ourselves being different to most insurtechs out there. We already have 150 insurance companies as customers. We are profitable. We are part of a fantastic group, just 230 banks as customers. So we, I think from a vendor perspective, I don't think there's any vendor that knows both insurance and banking as well as we do. So really for us, it is about bringing all of these assets together and just making sure that we extend them to customers across the region.
Now, Peter, if you look back on your career, what are some key things that you've done right, particularly in growing the Tune business and IPOing it? What were some 3 things perhaps that you think you did really well?
People, as mentioned, would certainly be number one. I was able to bring in fantastic people, and there's a number of these people working with us at Fermion today. We've kept. It was almost like my Busby babies, if you like. It was an absolutely fantastic team. I came to Asia as a young person in the business. Now I'm the older person in any business I'm in. So that would be first and foremost. I think with Tune, investor relations, I think we did investor relations very well, which is why the stock price and the value of the company rose up, rose up. And I think, thirdly, it's partnership. So, you know, the tune business, I think it's set a precedent at the time, but, you know, tune, yeah, we literally came from nothing. We had a captive insurance business in Labuan, but through partnership with, you know, 40 insurers, partnership with assistance companies, we were able to expand pretty much globally, but particularly in MENA and Asia.
And I want to bring you back to what you said just a few minutes ago about distribution and how people shouldn't take the shortcut and sell their distribution rights and actually monetize it. I think this is a classic example, isn't it?
I mean, I've certainly been involved in RFPs and selling distribution rights. And I think, you know, perhaps, you know, I was heavily involved in perhaps the second one of those in the region. I think DBS Aviva was number one, and, you know, and the work that we did at CIMB was perhaps only the second of its type in the region. So I'd classify that more as selling distribution than at Tune. You know, I think at Tune it was you know, I think the products being offered through Tune to the AirAsia customer base were, I guess that there was an exclusivity there, and of course there was a common shareholding as well. But you know, I guess I'd classify that one as a little bit different to banks and you know, some of the big distributors today.
And looking back again, what would you have done differently in your career?
I would say, as an individual, I've always been very solution focused. So and perhaps hopefully I'm doing a better job today. Let me put that in first. But, you know, perhaps at times in my career I could have done a better job managing upwards as well as managing downwards. So I think, you know, I think in some instances, you know, I've been very solution focused, and you know, and of course, you know, you need to bring all stakeholders with you on every aspect of the journey. Yeah, you know, I think yeah, you know, I'm basically a solution focused guy. So I think that will have a lot of strengths attached to it, but there's also weaknesses as well when you're going straight for the solution and you know, not necessarily always looking at the collateral damage.
Peter, it's been a fascinating conversation, but before we leave, any final thoughts you'd like to leave us with?
There's still huge opportunity across the customer value chain for innovation. If you look at every aspect of the value chain, from sales to service to claims to fraud, there's room for innovations. So, and I think that innovation does not need to come at the expense of anybody. You know, it should be an innovation which adds value to everybody, particularly the consumer. So I think my wish and my message and what hopefully we are doing is always looking to add value to the consumer as well as to the insurer and our ultimate customers.
Now, Peter, thank you very much for taking your time to be on the show.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Now, I'm Brian Fernandez, and we've been speaking to Peter Miller, CEO of the Fermion Group, on Biztech CEO Conversations Show. This video and podcast will be on our various social media platforms, as well as our website, www.biztech.asia. Please like and subscribe to our various platforms. Thanks again for tuning in.